The main reason for the frequency of 3400 MHz on Intel CC150 is the old microcode of the processor. You can check the current microcode in the CPU-Z program. First, you need to download the latest BIOS from the motherboard manufacturer's website. Download UEFI tools and open the downloaded BIOS with it. You need the Fit tab with microcodes, specifically CPU signature 906ED, revision at least CA. Revisions from older to newer go in the order AA, BA, CA, and so on. If the BIOS contains CA or higher, simply put this BIOS onto a flash drive, formatted in FAT32 beforehand, and install the BIOS according to the instructions for your motherboard. Make sure to ensure an uninterrupted power supply and do not turn off the computer. Now the second part, if the microcode is not in the latest BIOS, or it needs to be updated to a newer version. There are two variations of BIOS: structured, where each part has a specific allocated place, organized in folders and subfolders; all-in-one, where all the code is simply written one after another. However, such BIOS types are rare, and I honestly don't know how to handle them. So let's move on. Structured BIOS has two possible scenarios: when the required microcode is located last, followed by empty space padding; when it is somewhere in the middle, requiring mixing with other microcodes. First scenario, find a BIOS with the microcode you need, preferably from the same motherboard manufacturer. Though not strictly necessary, it minimizes the risk of inconsistencies. Open the BIOS to be modified in UEFI tools and a hex editor. I used an online one in Chrome. Plus, open the second BIOS with the desired microcode in another UEFI tools instance. Check how much empty space is in the padding and whether the required microcode fits, since it might be larger. If everything is okay, proceed. Copy the microcode address and go to hex. Locate this place, then go to the UEFI, from which you will take the microcode. Open the hex view, press Ctrl-A and Ctrl-C. Ensure the keyboard layout is set to English. Return to hex and paste with Ctrl+V, selecting overwrite and hexadecimal. Save the changes. Verification. Open the original and modified BIOS in UEFI Tools. In the first tab, there should be no new errors. In the FIT tab, there should be information about the new microcode. Second scenario. When the required microcode is not at the end, you will need to manually rewrite all microcodes and specify the beginning of each one. Open the BIOS to be modified in UEFI Tools and a hex editor, plus open the second BIOS with the desired microcode in another UEFI Tools instance. Check how much empty space is in the padding and whether the required microcode fits. To better illustrate, I'll roughly draw the BIOS structure and explain what needs to go where for clarity. Copy the microcode address and go to hex. Locate this place, then go to the UEFI from which you will take the microcode. Open the hex view, press Ctrl-A and Ctrl-C. Ensure the keyboard layout is set to English. Return to hex and paste with Ctrl+V, selecting overwrite and hexadecimal. Now scroll to the end of the inserted code, highlighted in yellow. The fastest way is to use the page down key. When you reach the end of the inserted code, copy the address of the next line immediately after the code. This will be the address where the next microcode needs to be inserted. After inserting everything, locate the address of the entire microcode section, the one with many alphanumeric characters, and go to this location in hex. Now again, it is important. On the right, locate the fit label. After it, on the next line, there are microcode addresses in reverse order. If the address where you inserted was D5A400, it needs to be written as 00A4D5. The first address remains in its place, but you must update those that changed after your modifications. Verification. Open the original and modified BIOS in UEFI Tools. In the first tab, there should be no new errors. In the FIT tab, there should be information about the new microcode. Installation. Format the flash drive in FAT32 and copy the original BIOS to it. Rename the original BIOS to its original file name, then delete it. Place the modified BIOS into the folder and rename it with the same name as the original. For some reason, the installer doesn't recognize BIOS files with non-original file names. Ensure uninterrupted power and do not turn off the computer. Let it install everything. The computer will restart several times during the process. Good luck.